Good morning, everybody, and you're all very, very welcome. Good to see you all. As you can hear, my voice is not great this morning. I seem to be one of the people who is consistently suffering from this respiratory virus that's going around. So I'm going to stay here, so don't come near me, and I'm going to sneak out the back door after the service so I don't inflict my horrible diseases on anybody. But you're all very welcome. Now, I've one very important announcement to make, and it is an important one. Immediately at the end of the service, committee members are asked to attend a meeting in the meeting room immediately after the service. A very short meeting. It's only to deal with one issue, but it's a significant issue, and a decision has to be made on it very quickly. So I would ask any committee meeting members that are here if you could attend that meeting immediately at the end of the service for approximately 10 minutes or so. Thank you. Now, I was remonstrated with last week that I never mentioned the death of Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI. So I'm mentioning that. And I watched his funeral, and I have to say that it was a beautiful funeral, a very simple mass, which he asked for. And there's a lot of debate about Pope Benedict, because he was an incredible theologian and scholar. And I've read a couple of his books. They are profoundly scholarly and brilliant books, even though I don't agree with them. But having said that, they are profoundly brilliant, and I'm going to speak about one, not today, but at some future date, what I garnered from one of his books, Jesus of Nazareth. But what was really interesting, this was an amazing observation down south of the border, that less people in the Republic of Ireland watched Pope Benedict's funeral than watched Queen Elizabeth's funeral. So what's going on here? That's absolutely a fact. RTE reported that literally far less people watched Benedict's funeral than Her Majesty the Queen's funeral. And also, what was really telling, and Joe Duffy commented on this, or not Joe Duffy, the person that's filling in for Joe Duffy on Liveline, commented during the week that there was no discussion afterwards, very little on any Irish TV or radio programs, very little about the death of a pope. And yet, show after show was discussing every minor detail of poor wee Harry. And I'm just thinking, what's happening to my wee country down south? There was a time if a pope had a flu, it was national news. But there you go, changing times, fascinating observations those. So, and welcome Garth, good to see you with us this morning. And so let us prepare ourselves for our hour of worship, meditation, prayer and song. Let religion be to us a joy. Let religion be to us satisfaction, which helps us to serve more truly and more righteously. Let religion be to us the wonder and lure of that which is only partly known and understood. Let religion be to us security, serenity, and truth, and beauty, because of its enduring worth, power, and value. Let religion be to us a force of uniting us in a loving bond. Amen. And now may we sing together our first hymn, and in the Red Book it's hymn 202, City of God. Am I right? City of God, how broad and far.
Good morning. The piece I'm going to read this morning is by Rudyard Kipling. The final line is, "And which is more, you'll be a man, my son." I trust that we can all take the poem in a more inclusive fashion and take the sentiments of the poem as they're meant. If you can keep your head when all around you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose a common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and, which is more, you'll be a man, my son.
And Muriel?
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to play an Irish slipjig called The Butterfly. And this might seem a little unseasonal because we don't see many around at this time of year. But I think that as nature is so amazing, and to justify playing this tune, it's worth mentioning what the butterflies are up to at this time of year. This will be a bit of a long introduction to a short tune. British and Irish winters can be difficult enough for the hardiest of animals, so it seems hard to believe that butterflies, with their delicate wings, can find ways to survive until the warmer weather of spring. When their surroundings are really cold, most species of butterflies and moths become dormant, either as an egg, a caterpillar, a chrysalis, or an adult, depending on the species. The orange-tip butterfly might head to the roots of a tussock of grass, and as a caterpillar, and become a chrysalis for the winter. Whereas the peacock butterfly overwinters as a dormant adult in buildings, hollow trees, and wood piles. Other butterflies solve the problem of the cold by not spending the winter here, but they arrive from warmer climates each year. For example, most red admirals fly in from mainland Europe and as far away as North Africa from spring onwards. Then there is the painted lady butterfly. I remember reading about them a few years ago, and I thought I'd share this with you. It was known that the painted lady butterfly migrates to the UK and Ireland from continental Europe each summer. But for a long time, where they would go each autumn was a mystery. Scientists did not know if they made the return journey at the end of the summer or simply died in the UK and Ireland, because butterfly observers on the ground never saw any evidence of an autumn migration. But the mystery was finally solved in 2012. It was found that the painted lady does indeed migrate south each autumn. Radar revealed that the butterflies fly south at an average altitude of 500 metres, 1,500 feet, out of view of observers on the ground, and they can clock up speeds of 30 miles per hour. The species makes an amazing 9,000-mile round trip from tropical Africa to the Arctic Circle in a series of steps by successive generations, so painted ladies returning to Africa in the autumn are several generations removed from their ancestors who left Africa earlier the same year. The painted lady just keeps going, breeding and moving in a never-ending series of steps, taking the whole population from Africa to Northern Europe again, year after year. This tiny creature, weighing less than a gram, with a brain the size of a pinhead, and no opportunity to learn from older, experienced individuals, undertakes an epic intercontinental migration in order to find plants for its caterpillars to eat. Radar in Hampshire revealed that around 11 million high-flying painted ladies entered the UK in one spring and 26 million left in the autumn. Once thought to be blindly led at the mercy of the wind into an evolutionary dead end in the British winter, research showed painted ladies are sophisticated travellers.
Thank you, Muriel. Thank you. That was wonderful. Many years ago, I met a very nice Pakistani gentleman, and when he introduced himself to me, he said his name was Muhammad Iqbal. And I said to him, well, isn't that fascinating? And he said, why? And I said, well, unless it's just a coincidence, but I've just been reading a very famous Pakistani poet and mystic, and his name is Muhammad Iqbal. And he said to me, with all due respects, Chris, that would be like me telling an Irish person about William Butler Yeats. He said half of Pakistan is called after Muhammad Iqbal. So I'd like to read a few words from Muhammad Iqbal, not the man I met in Dublin, the original Muhammad Iqbal, called Journey of Love. Where in our hearts is that burning of desire? It is true that we are made of dust, and the world is also made of dust. But the dust has motes arising, Whence comes that drive in us? We look to the starry sky and love storms in our hearts. Whence comes that storm? The journey of love is a very long journey. But sometimes with a sigh, you can cross the vast desert, search and search again without losing hope. You may find sometimes a treasure on your way. My heart and my eyes are all devoted to the vision. The wonderful and profound words of Muhammad Iqbal. Let us pray. Loving and compassionate God, divine that is the source of all our love. Help us in this new year to strive towards high ethical and moral standards in our everyday life, and let us pray for those in public office to do likewise. Help us in this new year to work for the understanding and promotion of a religion of love, assuming a spirit of cooperation, a spirit of tolerance towards all other religious groups, a spirit of friendship, solidarity with others. Loving and compassionate God, in this new year, help us to make the following commitment. I will commit to continue formulating my own religious beliefs according to my individual needs, the needs of the world around me, according to my own unique conscience, according to my own level of degree of maturity. Loving God, help me strive to do this in this new year, but also to act in solidarity with others. And now may we stand in body or in spirit as we say together the prayer that Jesus taught us. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. And now may we sing together our second hymn. In the Red Book, it's hymn 104. O thou whose nature and whose name... What? 140. Oh, I put the 0 before the 4. Okay. Wise men seeking Jesus. We go for that. The sermon I'm about to deliver, I wrote over the Christmas period, but it's been slightly upstaged by Mr. Putin when he called a Christmas truce. As many of you will know, yesterday was the Orthodox Christmas for many, not for all, but for most Orthodox. Yesterday was Christmas Day, and Putin called a truce. And well, it didn't really work out, but you'll see the relationship with what I wrote some weeks ago. The following scriptural text is regularly quoted, and for various reasons. There is neither Jew nor Greek, slave nor free, male nor female, for you are all one in Jesus Christ. And this appears in Galatians 3:28. Now, it's always debated to what extent the verse actually means to negate all differences between Jews and Greeks, women and men, and so forth. So you can see how it can be used to support a number of different points of view. However, I'm sure the late Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI would have seen it in his clarity that it signifies literally that we can all be one in the name of Jesus Christ. His view would have been, yes, we would all have to submit in the name of Jesus Christ, and I would presume in the name of the one true Catholic Church. However, it would appear that those who come to share their faith in the name of Jesus Christ cannot sink their differences as expressed in Galatians 3:28. We know a little bit about that here in Ireland. Orthodox Christmas Day occurs every January the 7th because the Orthodox Church still chooses to celebrate the birth of Jesus according to the Julian calendar. The Gregorian calendar that is currently in use today led to a new Christmas Day on December the 25th, due to the addition of new elements that changed the calendar year. In Russia, Christmas is mostly celebrated on the 7th of January. This is because the Russian Orthodox Church sticks rigidly to the Julian calendar, which is 13 days behind the Gregorian calendar. The only exceptions to that are some evangelical Protestant churches and Russian Catholics. Pope Gregory XIII changed the calendar to bring it more in line with the solar cycle. So that was quite a progressive thing to do. However, now many Ukrainian Orthodox Christians have changed their mind, and they've changed the date of their Christmas to the 25th of December. So while we were celebrating Christmas on the 25th of December, many Orthodox Christians in the Ukraine did the same, although yesterday equally the cathedral in Kiev and other churches were filled to capacity. But why did they change to the 25th? Why did many Orthodox Christians in the Ukraine decide to change to the 25th? Because of the war. This is caused by the war. They want their Christmas now aligned with Western culture and no longer with the Russian Orthodox Church. In October, the leadership of the Orthodox Church of Ukraine, which is not aligned with the Russian Orthodox, stay with me, not aligned with the Russian Orthodox Church, has agreed that Christmas could be celebrated on December the 25th, and they went ahead with that. Now, this choice in the Ukraine has serious and significant political and religious implications. It's another new division amongst the Ukrainian people. We now have, running parallel to a shooting war, we now have a cultural, religious war. For many, is this a clear separation from Russia? They want to literally say we have nothing ever to do with Russia again. Olena Paley, a resident of Babritsia, said we can no longer be part of the Russian world. And the Babristia church changed to the 25th. And in Babristia, they celebrated Christmas along with us in the West. It has to be remembered that the Russian Orthodox Church claims sovereignty over Orthodoxy in the Ukraine, and other Eastern churches literally claim sovereignty, that, if you like, the Orthodox Vatican was in Moscow. In Babristia, there was a vote. Yeah, in that small village, they voted to change. And there was 204 votes. 200 voted to change to the 25th, and 4 voted to stay as they were. So, as Elvis might say, it was going to be a lonely Christmas without you for those 4. I wonder what those 4 did on the 25th, and were they very lonely in church yesterday? As I said, the Catholic Church changed because the Gregorian calendar was more astronomically precise, and this was in the 16th century. Later on, reluctantly, Protestants changed, and then some Orthodox changed, not all. All those who owed allegiance to the Russian Orthodox Church did not change. No enemy, this is a quote, no enemy can take away the holiday because the holiday is born in the soul. These are the words of Reverend Rostislav Korchak in his homily in Babristia. It would appear he used words throughout his service such as war, soldiers, and evil, seldom referring to Jesus Christ on the 25th of December. But then who can blame him? None of us can even begin to sense the suffering that the Ukrainian people are going through, inflicted by Putin and Russia. The Russian Orthodox Church, as you can well imagine, is not happy. And the Patriarch Kirill, who is equivalent to the Pope in Kiev or in Moscow, is fully behind the war, supporting Putin. And he said he was absolutely furious and fiercely protested against this blasphemous move by Ukrainian Christians. The Ukrainian Orthodox Church, the Ukrainian Orthodox Church has remained loyal to Moscow. Now, this is an interesting piece because the Ukrainian Orthodox Church has remained loyal to Moscow. But the Ukrainian Orthodox Church is not to be confused with the Orthodox Church of the Ukraine. Now, isn't that so simple? It's as easy as explaining to somebody visiting Northern Ireland, we are the non-subscribing Presbyterians, they are mainstream Presbyterians, they're the Reformed Presbyterians, and they're the Evangelical Presbyterians, and I think they're the Continuity Presbyterians. So it's very easy to follow, so you can see where this is leading in the Ukraine. Now, I think they need to get us involved. And they need some experts, of which we've many here, to be dispatched from Northern Ireland, at least to help them with the names. So we can see that Russia or Putin has not only divided Ukrainians and Russians, but now has equally managed in his war to divide the Christian Orthodox world. Because it's not going to end here. This will actually inflict itself upon Greece, Serbia. Already the Serbians are kicking up about the Ukrainians changing, and parts of Bulgaria and other countries. This is really going to roll out into all the countries that subscribe to the Orthodox Christian faith. We have a division between the ecumenical patriarch of Constantinople, now known as Istanbul, Bartholomew, and the Moscow Patriarchate. Georgia and Finland both condemned the invasion and religiously side with the Ukrainians. Now, most Finns are similar to Western Christians, but there's a lot of Orthodox in all those countries, and they're already changing to the 25th, like the Ukrainians. However, Serbia and Bulgaria remain in part sympathetic to Russia and are angry with the Ukrainian change. So just be careful if you're skiing in Bulgaria to remember what day to say Happy Christmas. When the war ends, there will be a lot of healing, not only between Russian and Ukrainian, but throughout the whole of Europe. Sometimes we forget that these wars are only contained within the immediate area, such as the Ukraine and Russia. But this war is having cultural, political, national identity, and religious impact throughout Europe, which is far more divided than people can imagine. And this is one of the main divisions on religion. It sadly appears it'll be a long time before Russian and Ukrainians will ever be able to wish each other Happy Christmas. Amen. Now, I've just a couple of notices, and the first one is the beautiful flowers we have today. Thank you, Anne and Violet. They're absolutely lovely. Thank you very much. And there will be no committee meeting on the 17th, as we did agree, because a number of people will be missing, include myself. So we will put back our committee meeting. But however, please remember, any committee members, you're meeting immediately after the service in the meeting room for an important meeting. And our book club is Wednesday the 11th, next Wednesday at 7:30, not 11 in the evening, at 7:30. Whoops, why not? And the book is The Promise. And it's a good read. And then also to remind people, Carl, do you want to say anything about the film on the 19th of the... Yeah, why not come? Do you want to come up and say Titanic Town with Julie Walters, Kieran... Is Julie Walters going to be here?
No, unfortunately, Julie Walters.
You're going to be here.
And Anne Devlin, who wrote the script, is going to be here, and she's going to do a question and answer afterwards, right? And it's at 7:30 on Thursday, not this Thursday, the following Thursday, and we'll show the film, and then there'll be the question and answer. And it also is very... It's like a sister film to Belfast, Kenneth Branagh's Belfast. Kenneth Branagh's Belfast was about North Belfast, Protestant community, and it was written, when was it, last year, whatever, 2020. And the Anne Devlin film, Titanic Town, it was written in the late 90s, and it's about Andersonstown, and it's about a Catholic family in Andersonstown. And to my mind, the similarity is that they're both intimidated by the thugs, And after a while, the thugs then become the politicos and they justify what they're doing on political grounds. 7:30. And I think that's very interesting, so it matches that. And the other irony is that the first time I saw Titanic Town, I knew Anne had written it, but I hadn't seen it, didn't know how to get it. And I was on Emirates flying to Dubai, and I saw it in their classic films, and I couldn't believe it. So on the plane to Dubai in July, I watched Titanic Town, which seems rather strange. Okay, thank you very much.
Well recommended, absolutely. It'll be. I've seen it before, and it's an excellent film with Judy Walters and Ciarán Hinds. So it's quite something in Belfast. You've got a film about North Belfast called Belfast, a film of, oh no, is that North Belfast, West Belfast? Yeah, which is Titanic Town. And then a play going on in March by Beano Niblock called The Man Who Swallowed a Dictionary, about David Irvine from East Belfast. So I'm writing a play about South Belfast, and it's going to be called, My God, Where Can You Get a Good Beaujolais? On the Lisburn Road, of course. I think that's what we worry about. We worry about the important things in life in South Belfast. And now our collection. And now may we sing together our final hymn. And in the Red Book it's 294. Go work in my vineyard, my garden and field. and the faith we have renewed this morning give us wisdom, comfort, and courage for all the new days ahead. For the way is often hard, the path is never clear, and the stakes are very high. Amen. God bless you all. Go in peace.